But
Give me the drum. You gonna say something? Ready?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you see the video? Okay, Hare. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Javi Hari
Radha Madhava Kunjabihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Javi Hari Gopijana Vallabha Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Gopijana Vallabha
Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Gopijana Vallabha Gopijana Vallabha Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Mr. Pad, Bhagavan, Mr. Ravi Jankacharya, Shri Srimad, Mr. Language, Mr. A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Kota Vaishnava ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Sri Gauranga. So which verse are we on?
25.
25.
Yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So this morning we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 16. Lord Parasuram destroys the ruling class, text number 25. Jamadagno Api Bhagavan Rama Kamala Lochana Agamini Antare Rajan Vartayisyati Vai Brihat Jamadagno Bhagavan Rama Kamala Lochana Agamin Yantare Rajan Vachayasyati Vaibrahat Jamadagno Bhagavan Rama Kamala Lochana Agamin Yantare Rajan Vartayasyati Vaibrahat
Vartayishyati Vaibrahat.
Jamadagnopi Bhagavan
Yamadagnyopi Bhagavan.
Rama Kamalalochana
Rama Kamalalochana.
Agamenyantare Rajan
Agamini Antare Rajan.
Vartayisyati Vaibrahat.
Vartayishyati Vaibrahat. Jamadagnyopi Bhagavan.
Jamadagnopi Bhagavan
Rama Kamalalochana.
Rama Kamalalochana
Agamini Antare Rajan.
Agamenyantare Rajan
Vartayishyati Vaibrahat.
Vartayisyati Vaibrahat. Jamadagnya,
Jamadagna.
the son of Jamadagni,
The son of Jamadagna.
Api, also, Bhagavan,
Bhagavan.
the personality of Godhead,
Personality of God.
Rama,
Rama.
Lord Parasuram,
Lord Parashuram.
Kamalalochana,
Kamalalochana.
whose eyes are like lotus petals,
Whose eyes are like lotus petals.
Agamini,
Agamani.
coming,
Coming.
Antare,
Antare.
in the, in the Manvantara, the time of one Manu, Rajan,
Rajan.
O King Parikshit,
O King Parikshit.
Vartishyati,
Vartayishyati.
will propound, Vai, indeed, Brihat, Vedic knowledge.
Vedic knowledge.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. There is no purport, so we will go on until there is a purport.
28.
Okay. Translation. My dear King Purgit, in the next Manvantara, the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead, Lord Parasuram, the son of Jamadagni, will be a great propounder of Vedic knowledge. In other words, he will be one of the 7 sages, Saptarishis. Text number 26. I'll just read the translation. Lord Parasuram still lives in an intelligent Brahmana. Lord Parasuram still lives as an intelligent Brahmana in the mountainous country known as Mahendra, completely satisfied, having given up all the weapons of a kshatriya. He is always worshipped, adored, and offered prayers for his exalted character and activities by such celestial beings as the Siddhas, Charanas, and the Gandharvas. Text number 27. In this way, the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord, and the Supreme Controller descended as an incarnation in the Bhrigu dynasty and released the universe from the burden of undesirable kings by killing them many times. Text 28. Vishwamitra, the son of Maharaj Gadi, was as powerful as the flames of fire. From the position of a kshatriya, he achieved the position of a powerful brahmana by undergoing penances and austerities. Purport. Now, having narrated the history of Lord Parasuram, Sukadeva Goswami begins the history of Vishwamitra. From the history of Parasuram, we can understand that although Parasuram belonged to the Brahminical group, he circumstantially had to work as a kshatriya later. After finishing his work as a kshatriya, he again became a brahmana and returned to Mahendra Parvata. Similarly, we can see that although Vishwamitra was born in a kshatriya family, by austerities and penances, he achieved the position of a brahmana. These histories confirm the statements in Shastra that a brahmana may become a kshatriya may become a brahmana or vaishya, and a vaishya may become a brahmana by achieving the required qualities. One's status does not depend upon birth, as confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7:11-35 by Narada. Yasyaya lokasanam praktam pumso varna yanjikam yat rapi drishyeta tat tenaiva venir dishet. If one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classifications. To know who is a Brahmana and who is a Kshatriya, one must consider a man's quality and work. If all the unqualified Sudras become so-called Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, social order will be impossible to maintain. If all the unqualified Sudras become so-called Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, social order will be impossible to maintain. This is what we have now. We have so many so-called Brahmanas, but they're not acting like they're doing all kinds of nonsense, smoking beedies and eating fish and doing all kinds of nonsense. Thus, there will be discrepancies. Human society will turn into a society of animals, and the situation all over the world will be hellish, as we see right now. Om Jnanatimarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Mukam Kotu Achalam Bhangunam Haitegra Yat Kripa Taraham Bande Shri Guru Nirudhanam Vanchakapatubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Parihanam Bhavanebhya Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The example is given of the body. The head is considered to be the Brahmana, right? The arms are the Kshatriyas. The waist is the Vaishyas, and the legs are the Sudras. But now, practically, actually, it's said in Kali Yuga, Kalo Sudra Sambhava, that in Kali Yuga, everybody's a Sudra. So we have a very unusual situation, unfortunate situation. Imagine the body. Now there's practically no Brahmanas, so there's no head. There's practically no Kshatriya, so there's no arms. There's practically no Vaishyas, because Vaishyas are actually supposed to protect cows, do business, and now the cows are being murdered everywhere. So you have no head, no arms, no belly, but you have these humongous legs, Sudras. So that's our situation. Gigantic legs, no head, no arms, no waist. That's the unfortunate situation. So Prabhupada said he went to the West to create Brahmanas. What is most needed in the world is Brahmanas. And what are the qualities? The qualities of a Brahmana. Samo damas, tapas hocham, shantir arjam mevajya. Jnana vijnanam asakam brahma karma, sahavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, religiousness. These are the qualities by which the Brahmanas work. So the Brahmanas are peaceful. Krishna Bhakti Nishkama Ateva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakli Ashanta. It's described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that devotees of the Lord, they're always peaceful. Why? Because their interest is in pleasing Krishna, serving Krishna. This is our interest as Brahmanas, trying to please Krishna. We live to please Krishna. We live to serve Krishna. And this is the thing that makes devotees peaceful. They're satisfied. There's a very nice verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Akinchanasya dantasya santasya samachetas maya santusta manasa sarva sukha maya dasha. That devotees of the Lord, those who are actually brahmanas, they're akinchana, they're free of material desires. So what is a material desire? A material desire is a desire that is not pleasing to Krishna. And a Krishna conscious desire, spiritual desire, is that desire which pleases Krishna. So, but to get free of material desires is not easy. There's a statement also in the Bhagavatam that if one remembers Krishna, then one becomes pure, because Krishna is the most pure. However we come in contact with Krishna, we get purified. If one remembers Krishna, even though one may have material desires, he becomes free of material desires and develops spiritual desires. If one remembers Krishna, one may have a difficult time following vows, but if he remembers Krishna, he becomes very strict in his ability to follow vows. And if one remembers Krishna, one may have a difficult time studying the Vedas and learning verses, but if one remembers Krishna, he becomes expert in the Vedas. So the goal is to remember Krishna. Then we become peaceful. We become satisfied. Akinchana siddhantasya, and one is able to control the senses. It's described that in Kali Yuga, the senses are very powerful, very powerful. And the path of bhakti is spiked by millions of thorny obstacles. It's a very difficult time to practice bhakti in this age. But Lord Chaitanya is merciful. And therefore, Prabodhananda Saraswati, this is a verse by Prabodhananda Saraswati. He says to Lord Chaitanya, if you are not merciful to me, then what will I do? See, Lord Chaitanya, he's Patita Pavana, Hetu Tava Avatar. He's the savior of the most fallen. So in Kali Yuga, practically everybody is fallen. I was just reading yesterday on the plane. And Prabhupada, he says that a sane person will be very careful about not falling down. A sane person will be very careful about not falling down. And then Prabhupada says, this is a regulative principle. You know, we have the 4 regular principles, right? Well, Prabhupada added one. Now there's 5. He said, he doesn't say this should be a regular principle. He says this is a regular principle, that we should be very fearful of falling down again. Because this material world, it's not a nice place. We don't want to fall down into a nasty place. Again, we've already fallen down. Now we picked ourselves up. We kind of picked ourselves up. We're practicing Krishna consciousness. So we don't want to fall down again. It's a terrible place. Prabhupada was walking with some devotees. And there was a trash bin, you know, and it said, put trash in here. And Prabhupada said, then you'll have to put the whole material world in there. Because this material world, it's trash. It's not a nice place. And therefore, an intelligent person will try to get out. Just like in prison, there's so many prisoners. They don't want to stay there. They want to get out, right? And sometimes they try to escape. Sometimes they do escape. So this material world, it's actually a prison. In America, there's a song. This land is your land. This land is my land. And it's made for you and me. Actually, it's not our land. Whose land is it?
Krishna.
It's Krishna's land. Esavashimidang Saram. Everything that exists is owned and controlled by Krishna. But this land was made for us. It's made for prisoners, people who have given up the desire to serve Krishna, wanted to try to be Krishna. So this is where people come who want to try to be God. It's a prison. And these bodies, our material bodies, these are prison suits. Just like if in America, if you go to the prison, all the prisoners are wearing orange. You know why they wear orange? Because the color orange has a tendency to make one peaceful. It's a peaceful color. So I guess that's why we wear saffron, to try to help us be peaceful. So these are our prison suits, these bodies. And people who become liberated, muktir hitvanyatarupam svarupeni vivasati. To be liberated means we don't have a material body anymore, we have a spiritual body. And therefore, in the spiritual world, everybody has spiritual bodies. So, and that's what happens when we surrender to Krishna. Actually, our spiritual body is growing as we practice Krishna consciousness. We may not sense it. It's like when we take medicine, we don't know how it's working, right? So this practice, it's a very subtle practice. We don't know how it's working, how our subtle body is growing, but it is. And eventually we become completely spiritualized by this contact with Krishna. Brahmarpanam Brahmavir Brahmagna Brahmanahita Brahmaiva Tena Gantavya Brahma Karma Samadhina. That anybody who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his complete absorption in service to Krishna, in which everything that is offered is spiritual and everything that is received is spiritual. Just like we have so much book distribution around the world. So we give out books. We're giving out spiritual knowledge. The Prabhupada said the most important thing that we're doing in this society is giving spiritual knowledge. This is what is most needed. So we give out prasadam also, right? Prasadam distribution. And we give out the holy name. So this is a giving society. There in Miami, there were some devotees, they wanted to do a survey. So they called up 100 people in Miami at random and asked them, what do you like most about the Hare Krishnas? So what do you think they said?
Prashad.
Nope. Harinam. Yeah. Because we do that more, actually. We do a lot more Harinam than we do prasadam distribution. So, we're the only people in the world, if you think about it, we're the only people in the world that go out to the public and we sing and dance. We're the only ones. And people like it, singing and dancing. So actually, I was here in Germany. We were having a big Harinam. So many swamis were there. Bhakti Vaibhav Swami and the one in Germany. He preaches in Argentina, South America. What's his name?
His name is Bhakti Bhushan Swami.
Bhakti Bhushan Swami was there, and yes, there were so many swamis there. And there was about 80 devotees. It was really fired up. I was like amazed. It was like really nice, yeah. And some ladies came by. A couple of ladies. They were so excited. They were so happy to see such such happiness and dancing and they were so nice. And so I went over and offered books to them. And they said, "Oh yeah, this is so nice. Yeah, we'll take books. Give a donation." And as we were talking, the Harinam went on, continuing their Harinam. And she said, "Hey, they're join the party." And another lady I was speaking to, she found out I was a Hare Krishna. She said, I travel all over the world, And I see you Hare Krishna people all over the place. You're the happiest people in the world. And I was thinking, all right, good. I joined the right movement. So it's so nice, chanting, dancing. And this is what goes on in the spiritual world. Nobody talks in the spiritual world. When you communicate, everybody's singing. I'm sure they got good voices too, yeah. And nobody walks. Everybody dances. Imagine that. Just like in the past, they used to have these musical movies where everybody's singing and dancing. So that's the spiritual world. Everybody's singing and dancing. And there's kapavriksha trees. You get whatever you want. Like here, from a mango tree, you get mangoes. You don't get oranges. You don't get grapes. You don't get apples. You get mangoes. But from a mango tree in the spiritual world, you get mangoes. You get samosas. You get glubjamans. You get all kinds of goodies, whatever you want. So this is the spiritual world, and this is the goal of this practice: is to go back home. It's like we have our Back to Godhead magazine. We're trying to go back to Godhead. One devotee said, "Prabhupada, I just want to come back life after life and distribute your books." And Prabhupada said, "No, don't think you're so advanced. You're not a Paramahamsa, you're not a Uttama Adhikari. Don't think you're so advanced. Just do your business, get purified, and go back home. Get out of here." It's not a nice place. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, the material world, it's a weird abode. It's a weird place. Now in America, probably here too, there's boys and girls. They get like 12, 13, and they decide, well, I don't want to be a girl anymore. I want to be a boy. I don't want to be a boy. I want to be a girl. It's like, now you can choose what gender you want to be. Quite often it doesn't work out. There's, problems with the surgery and problems with the mind, and it's like, quite often they commit suicide. So it's a weird abode. It's weird, and it's getting weirder. It's going to get weirder and weirder. There's no place. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, it's no place for a gentleman. No place for a gentleman. So this verse goes on, Akinchana Dantasya Santasya. A devotee is peaceful. A devotee is peaceful because their interest is in pleasing Krishna. A devotee is interested in pleasing Krishna. But this material world, again, it's such a terrible place. Just like now, this war just started. This war just began recently. Now, why are there wars? Wars because of borders. If there was no borders, there wouldn't be Germany, there wouldn't be an Austria, there wouldn't be Russia, there wouldn't be, Saudi Arabia. There'd just be one planet, and everybody's just working and doing their things and living their life. But when you got borders, I'm American, that's Chinese, that's Canada, and they become nationalistic. My country is the best country. They become nationalistic, and this is where wars come. Ego, the ego builds because of nationalism, which is terrible. Now there's over 200 countries, and they've all got this nationalistic spirit. They've got their national anthems, glorifying their country. They probably have one in Germany also, I'm sure. Yeah, every country they have their national anthem, glorifying their beautiful country because of borders. This is the problem. In the spiritual world, there's no borders. In Goloka Vrindavan, no borders. It's just beautiful, Goloka Vrindavan. In Vaikuntha planet, there's no borders. There's peace. Akinchana dantasya santasya samachetasaha. The devotee sees everyone equally. Equally. How is that possible? Vidya vinaya sampane brahmane gavihastini. Suni chaiva sapakecha pandita samadarsha. This is how it's possible. These saints, the saintly devotees, they see with equal vision the brahmana, the cow, the elephant, the dog, and the dog eater. So how is that possible? Because he sees beyond the shell. He sees beyond the body. He sees that everybody is a spirit soul. There's one nice pastime. Prabhupada was in Chicago, and devotees brought this one person who was started coming recently to the devotees, and he was chanting and reading Prabhupada's books. And they went in there. They invited him to meet Prabhupada, and he weighed about 350 pounds. I don't know how many kilos that is. You guys go by kilos. That's a lot of kilos. I don't know, 150 kilos or something, 170 kilos or something. It was big. And one devotee said, Prabhupada, he's a pretty big boy, eh, Prabhupada? And Prabhupada said, he's no bigger than you. You both weigh nothing. You're seeing the body. Prabhupada said, you're seeing the body. I am seeing the soul. We don't weigh anything. So this is the soul. It's weightless. But because of coming to the material world, we get these bodies, and we become puffed up. And sometimes we become real big in more ways than one, with the ego and the body and everything. So this process of Krishna consciousness, it deflates the false ego. It deflates the false ego. So we realize that we're actually the soul. Just like there's one devotee, his name was Vasudeva, the leper. He was in India at the time of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya had just visited the Kurma Brahmana. And the Kurma Brahmana, he didn't want Lord Chaitanya to leave alone. He wanted to go with Lord Chaitanya because he was so inspired by Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya said, no, you stay here. Yare Deka, Tare Graha, Krishna Upadesh, Amara Yaya Guru, Hanatara Edesh. Yes. Instruct everyone of the teachings of Krishna as they're given in the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. In this way, you become a spiritual master and you liberate everyone in the land. So this is his instruction. So the Kurma Brahmana was a little sad about that, but he accepted the order of Lord Chaitanya. And then the Kurma Brahmana, somehow he heard that Lord Chaitanya was at his home. So Vasudeva went there, and Lord Chaitanya had already left. And he was so distraught. Let me tell you something about this Vasudeva the leper. He was such an amazing devotee. He had leprosy, but if a worm fell off his sores, he would pick it up and put it back on. He was completely beyond the bodily conception of life. He didn't want the worm to feel any distress. He's having his meal, so he put him back on. Completely beyond the bodily conception of life. Completely self-realized soul. So he fainted. When he heard Lord Chaitanya left, he fainted. But Lord Chaitanya, he's omniscient. He knows everything. So Lord Chaitanya came back. He knew my devotee, Vasudeva, is distraught. So Lord Chaitanya came back. And when Lord Chaitanya saw Vasudeva, Lord Chaitanya went to embrace him. And Vasudeva said, no, my Lord, please, I've got this disease. Please, I'm Muchi. Don't, please. Lord Chaitanya embraced him. Give him a nice bear hug. They say, you've heard that before? Bear hug? That's a nice, firm hug. It's called a bear hug. So right after that, Vasudeva, the leprosy disappeared. He became beautiful. Now he was already beautiful, spiritually, pure devotee. Now his body became beautiful. So then he lamented. He said, "My Lord, now I'm going to become proud." Because sometimes people become proud. They're beautiful, People have knowledge or beauty or wealth. They become attractive. Right? So now I'm going to become proud. And Lord Chaitanya said, no. You just chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And you'll remain humble. So this is how to stay humble. to always chant the holy name of Krishna. So Kenchinasya Dantasya Santasya Samachetasa Maya Santusta. Maya Santusta means who is satisfied in Krishna consciousness. We should be satisfied. We shouldn't think that there's something out there that will bring me happiness. There's nothing out there. It's a mad world, and it's getting madder and madder. We should not think that there's anything out there that will bring happiness. So much suffering is happening in this world, but they're thinking there's some happiness. They're thinking, right? Therefore, we see people, they're going to work, they get their money so they can try to enjoy. But it's Maya Sukhaya. It's illusory happiness. It's not real happiness. Yeah. But it appears. It's like in the mode of passion. It appears like nectar. Just this is so nice. Then it becomes poison. Nectar in the beginning, poison in the end. Yeah. So that's the material world. Just like nectar in the beginning, it becomes poison. Yeah. But in the mode of goodness, it's poison in the beginning, nectar in the end. So everybody wants nectar, right? So this is the nectar. And therefore we hear how Parashrami engaged in austerity. Austerity is good. Now it may be a little difficult in the beginning, little bit of poison there, rising early, chanting 16 rounds. There's one devotee, he heard Prabhupada say in a class that if you just chant 16 rounds a day, you follow the four regulated principles, I guarantee you at the end of this life, you'll go back to Godhead. And this devotee thought, wow, so easy. But not so easy. Because to chant 16 rounds a day, you got to have a taste. Because it's 2 hours or more, right? You got to have a taste. And to follow the four regular principles, you got to have a taste, because that's the main attraction in the material world. So we have to have a taste for Krishna. We have to have a taste for the holy name. And then we won't be attracted again to this material world. Because in the chanting of Hare Krishna, it's so nice. Rupa Goswami says, I do not know how much nectar there is in the two syllables, Krishna. He says, when I chant the holy name, I desire to have many millions of tongues to chant the holy name and millions of ears to hear the holy name. Excuse me. And when the holy name enters into the courtyard of my heart, it stops the activities of my mind and I experience unlimited happiness. So this is Rupa Goswami's. This is the experience he's getting. And we can also get this experience. We're also pure souls deep down. We're a little bit covered now, but this process means we're becoming uncovered. We're uncovering, we're removing the dirt. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's also stated, Pravishtakarna Randrenam Svanam Bhavasvaram, that the literary incarnation of Krishna, the Srimad Bhagavatam, enters into the heart of the self-realized soul, and there it cleanses the heart of all lust, anger, greed, envy, all the pollution is removed. He says, just like if you have a muddy, if you have some hole in the street or something, and there's some mud there, the rain comes and it cleanses. So I'll say this verse again. The literary incarnation of Krishna, the Srimad Bhagavatam, enters into the heart of the self-realized devotee, cleanses it of all lust, anger, greed. Thus it acts like autumnal rain upon muddy pools of water. It's a very interesting statement. Autumnal rain upon muddy pools of water. Like you have a hole here in the street, and there's some mud. So what happens? The rain comes, and if it's a strong rain, it cleans all the mud out, right? And then eventually you just have clear, distilled water. So we've come into this world and we become a little muddy, dirty, right? By this chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We're cleansing the heart. The rain of nectar, the rain of the holy name is removing all the dirt from the heart. And eventually, we'll just have clear Krishna consciousness. We have to be patient. Sometimes, I remember I was in Germany here, I was giving a Sunday feast lecture. I forgot where, maybe it was in Berlin. And I was explaining how the name of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. So this one guest said, I find this inconceivable. The name of God and God are non-different. I just can't grasp that. So I said, well, you have to be a little patient to understand this. And the guest said, you know this word, patient? It's not even in my dictionary. And we want everything now. I've been chanting Hare Krishna for 2 years and I'm not seeing Krishna yet. Something's wrong. Process doesn't work. So no, we had to be patient. We had to be patient. It's one of the Brahminical qualities also. Patience. Yeah, important. So kinchinasya dantasya santasya samachesa maya santusa manasa sarva sukha dhyadasha. So this verse says that those who are free of material desires, who control their senses, who are peaceful, kinchinasya dantasya santasya, somebody who see everybody equally, who is satisfied in Krishna consciousness, wherever such a person goes, will only find happiness. But we hear, Krishna says, Dukkhalayam asasatam, it's a place of suffering. So how is that? How can someone who has these qualities feel only happiness wherever he goes? Vishram Purnam Sukhayate. For a devotee, this material world is a place of joy. Amazing. This place of suffering becomes a place of joy by being Krishna conscious. So that's the key. If we're Krishna conscious, then there's happiness in his life. Wherever he goes, just finds happiness. It's like Prabhupada. He was so happy because he was Krishna conscious. And he made others happy also. He would get so many letters. Prabhupada, I'm so happy that you come. I'm so happy now. Thank you so much. And Prabhupada said, if you're not happy, then you're doing something wrong. Because that's a natural byproduct of chanting Hare Krishna. You become happy. Because what is the nature of the soul? Eternality, knowledge, and
Blissful.
Bliss. That's the nature of the soul. So when our true nature comes out, we'll be blissful. In all circumstances, no matter what happens, we'll be happy. Even to the extent of someone getting cancer. There's examples of devotees that had this terrible cancer. But they were chanting Hare Krishna, reading Prabhupada's books, and sometimes they would say, it can't get better than this. It's okay. Jai Shri Gaura, Jai Shri Gaura. And even some devotees would go to jail. Because like in Australia, there were some devotees, they got put in jail because they were doing Harinam. So devotees wrote Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, should we get a lawyer? And Prabhupada said, no, just chant Hare Krishna. They said, all right. So they took that to heart. They didn't just chant Hare Krishna, they did the whole morning program. 4:30, they had Mangal Arti, devotee blew the conch shell. And they'd offer the incense. There's no incense. Everything is mental. Manaseva. They would offer the incense, they would offer the flame, and then after the devotee would offer the flame, they would go by and everybody would touch the flame. There's no flame. And then they would offer the water, and they would offer the cloth, they would offer the flower, and then the devotee go around with the flower, no flower. And you smell the flowers, no flower. It was just mental seva. And they did string of prayers and Tulsi Puja, and then have Guru Puja. They did it for days. They did the whole morning program, and have evening program, and they were happy. And then now they're in a prison, so there's other prisoners there also. So they're telling the prison guards, "Hey, these guys don't belong here. These are monks. Come on, let them out." And sure enough, after a few days, they said, "All right, you can go. Go ahead." They let him out. So Prabhupada had the perfect solution. Just chant Hare Krishna and serve Krishna. So this is the result of practicing Krishna consciousness. In any situation, a devotee is happy. And sometimes there may be some big reversal, but reversals are good. Queen Kunti, she prays. Vipida santita sasva. Tatra jagat yud bhavato darsnyam yatsat apuna bhavadarsna. She prays, Krishna, please give me difficulty. Give me difficulty. You ever pray like that? Nobody prays like that except for Queen Kunti. And some psychiatrists might think, this person's got a problem, some psychological problem. But why did she pray like that? She prayed like that because whenever there's difficulty, she takes shelter of Krishna. And this is the nature of a devotee. When there's difficulty, they just take shelter of Krishna. And Krishna helps. And therefore she had that experience. She went through so many difficulties. And she would always take shelter of Krishna. And Krishna would be there, protecting her and protecting her sons. And Draupadi also. Draupadi was being disrobed by Dushasan to hold the sari. She's a lady, and Dushasan's a big Kshatriya. So finally she just said, "Hey Govinda! Hey Govinda." And this is the first time ever that Krishna incarnated as a sari. He's pulling the sari, but there's unlimited sari. Krishna. Krishna protects his devotee. So this is the kindness of Krishna. He is very kind. So, is there any question or comment?
I just have a question. You mentioned that chanting the holy name makes one humble. So how, just to understand?
How is it possible that chanting the holy name makes one humble? Well, if we're chanting sincerely, excuse me, take a drink here. If we're chanting sincerely, then we'll realize how small we are. How small are we? 1/10,000th size of a tip of a hair. We're very small. So if we're chanting sincerely, then we'll get this realization that I'm very small. And Krishna, he's great. So that's the result of chanting sincerely. I'm very small. I'm not this body. I'm a little soul in this. Actually, the body is dead. It appears to be alive because we're in the body. Just like they have these, these puppeteers. Sometimes the puppeteers, they have these shows for children, 2-year-old children or something. And so they're able to, with their strings, are able to move the puppet around. And the little 2-year-old kids, they think the puppet's real because they're in another world. So then after the show, one of the children may go in the back and see that, oh, it's not real. It was just a puppet. So Maya is so expert that we think that this body is real, but it's not. Well, it is real, but it's not who we are. It's not who we are. We're the soul within. And if I were to leave this body, for instance, right now, if I were to leave this body, if I were to have a heart attack right now, and I left this body, what would this body do? It would just lay down lifeless, right? Because I'm not in the body anymore. The body is only able to move and speak and see because I'm in the body. I, the soul, am in the body. As soon as I leave, then you see the real nature of the body. The real nature of this body, it's dead. It's just matter. It's just dead matter. But Krishna's so expert, he makes it appear like it's alive. And we're able to try to fulfill our material desires in this dead body. But that's what it is. It's dead. But we're alive, and we're so alive that we can't die. That's how alive we are. We can't die. You can't, Nainam Chindanti Sestrani. The soul can't be destroyed by any weapon. Even the most powerful nuclear bomb can't kill the soul. You can't burn the soul. Practically everything can be burned, practically, right? But not the soul. You can't be drowned. You can't be withered by the wind. No, nothing can destroy the soul. So the more we're chanting sincerely, it's like we have the 10 offenses, right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he also has the 10 defenses. There's 10 defenses to chanting the 10 offenses. Now, one of the main offenses is to blaspheme the devotees of the Lord who have dedicated their lives to the propagation of the holy name. So the defense to that is serve those devotees who have dedicated their life to the propagation of the holy name. That's the defense. I haven't memorized the 10 defenses yet. Maybe we should, when we chant the 10 offenses, we should also chant the 10 defenses. So that we don't make 10 offenses, yeah. That'd be an interesting thing to do. So it's all in the pure chanting. We're trying to chant purely. And there's the two main offenses that we commit. One is we chant inattentively sometimes. You ever had that experience?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. And the other one is we maintain material desires, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. So, but I think these are the two main offenses. But by hearing the Vedas again and again and again and again, we get the realization that there's no happiness in this world, and we gradually become free of this illusion that there's any happiness in material life. So we give that up. Maintain material attachments. Gradually, got to hear and chant, as the Bhagavatam says, a long time, attentively and a long time. Now, as far as chanting, Bhakti Tirtha Swami, he had the best thing I ever heard for helping chant attentive rounds. If he was chanting and he found he was inattentive, thinking of something other than the holy name, he would stop and he would back up one or two beats and then go forward, just to check the mind, right? Because the mind's all over the place. It'll go on to attach one thing and then it goes and it just goes all over the place. So as soon as I've been doing this for like I don't know 15 years since I heard that, because he's a serious devotee, Bhakti Tirtha Swami. Unfortunately, he passed away. So he would do that. Inattentive, stop, back up one or two beats, then go forward, just to check the mind. You're gone off, mind. Come on, let's get back on. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said the mind is a non-devotee. And this is why it's so hard to chant attentively, because the mind doesn't want to hear it. It wants to enjoy this world. It's a non-devotee. So this is why. So now you gotta kind of preach to the mind. I know you don't want to chant, but we're on a new program now. If you're not attentive, we're going to chant more, because I'm going to back up. If you're inattentive, I'm going to back up. I mean, more chanting. Yeah, all right. Let's get on here. It's very nice. It's a very practical way to improve our chanting, because this is the key. This is the key to the spiritual world. Kala dosha he rajan asti ekamahagina. Kirtana deva krishna se mukta sangha paramaja. This Kali Yuga is filled with so many faults, but the one good thing is that simply by chanting Hare Krishna, we can become completely purified and go back to Godhead. This is the key, the chanting of Hare Krishna. We have to perfect this chanting. And whatever we can do to help us improve our chanting, we should do that. And whatever we can do to whatever things that we do that are not good, we should stop doing that. Just like I saw one devotee, he was chanting his japa while he was playing soccer, football. He was playing football while he was trying to chant his rounds. That's probably the most inattentive japa I ever saw. Another person I saw, he was watching a movie on television while he was chanting his japa. I said, Prabhu, you can't chant your japa watching a movie. He said, Vijaya, this is the only way I can chant my japa. Yeah, completely inattentive. So avoid things that will cause inattentive japa. And I know devotees also, they won't chant while they're driving or even in the passenger car. Because even if you're in the passenger car, there's so many distractions, right? So many distractions. So personally, I sit, and was it? What's that? There's a Swami here, German sannyasi. Also, he does a lot of japa retreats. Satchidananda Swami. He said the best thing is to sit, and he saw that somewhere also in Prabhupada's books. Just sit there, just focus. And I also have a slideshow on my computer of Krishna Lila. Just going every 10 seconds or so, or 15 seconds, there's another picture of Krishna. So this way I'm able to think of Krishna. So I got a slideshow, sitting down. If I inattentive, then back up. So these things all help to chant attentively. And Prabhupada said the best time to chant your japa is before Mangalarti. There's no distraction. Especially after prasadam, then there's so much distraction. Some things you gotta do, isn't it? So when I heard Prabhupada say that, I said, all right, before Mangalarti, I chant my japa. It's so good. That means you gotta take rest a little early though. Not like last night. I took rest at 11 o'clock last night. So I wasn't able to do that this morning, but my general practice is before Mangalarti, japa is done. Just no distraction. So these things, Prabhupada's given so much guidance. Devotees are giving us so much guidance. So we should, if you hear a good thing that can help you chant better japa, grab it. Okay?
And just one more question, Prabhu. So about the like this regard uh, about these four verses you mentioned, like also Prabhupada writes in the purports that like the purpose of the movement is to make also more brahmanas. At the same time, the scriptures say Kalu Sutra Sambhava, so it's like how to understand like
Oh,
they don't
yeah.
contradict.
Good question. Prabhupada came here to make brahmanas, but everybody is a Sudra. But Prabhupada's so powerful that he can make brahmanas. And he's made so many brahmanas, so many nice Vaishnavas, so many nice brahmanas are in our society. And even the Hindus are amazed. The Hindus go to our temples and they see such nice deity worship. I mean, a lot of them, some of you have probably been to other temples in India. I mean, no one compares to our deity worship. No one compares to our deity worship. And our devotees, they go out and they're giving Krishna to others. Yajan, Patan, Dana, Patigraha. This is some of the important activities of a real Brahmana. You learn the Vedas and you teach it to others, give it to others. So we have so many Brahmanas in our society that are learning the Vedas and they're giving to others, they're preaching this message. So Prabhupada has created a lot of real Brahmanas, even though it's Kali Yuga. That's the mercy of Prabhupada. So many nice, wonderful Brahmana. Actually, not just Brahmana Vaishnavas. Brahmana Vaishnavas. If someone is a Brahmana and not a Vaishnava, then there's something lacking there. But if you're a Vaishnava, you're already a Brahmana. That just comes along. Okay? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai. His Grace Vijaya Prabhu ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone has question from online? Oh. Sorry, Prabhuji, I have to ask them also. There are many.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. We took your association in Singapore. I'm very happy.
Hey, Singapore. I like Singapore.
We will see you today evening for the program.
We'll see you.
Maybe I will ask the question then. I don't
Okay.
know how the time is running out.
Okay. Save it for tonight.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Before God Purnima, we have book distribution marathon.